This was going to be the opening for a Williams locomotive repaint. It's here because I spent a lot of time on the animation for a Back to the Future theme, but I was never 100% sold on the idea. Notice how it's 10:04 on the VCR. That's when the clock tower in Back to the Future gets struck by lightning. I liked doing this animation way more than the thought of actually making the Back to the Future train itself. I wanted this big silver train to look like a larger version of the DeLorean. I wanted blue lights behind the front and rear panels, like the car, but I couldn't really figure it out. The shell itself is pretty beat up, and it was cheap. It was only $10 on eBay. But the real benefit was that I have another complete E-60, and I was thinking that these two could share bases. I went on to repaint this Williams locomotive to look like part of the fleet from another of my favorite movies, Silver Streak. I really like the way it turned out, but I still need to find a way to use that banged up shell. The flat sides are pretty much perfect for decals or painted stripes of some sort, but what to do? The original graphics are an odd mix of decals and adhesive stickers for the stripes. Getting rid of the decals was pretty easy, but the glue for the stripes, that turned into a real pain. I tried mineral spirits, paint thinner, nail polish remover, but the only thing that actually removed the old glue was Goo Gone. It worked really well, but the areas where it was used really need to be degreased before you even think about applying the new paint. The Goo Gone must have some sort of oil in it, and it creates these weird little fisheye areas in any kind of paint that's applied over it unless it's completely cleaned off. It's finally clear of all of the sticker residue, and I've wet sanded the larger flat areas. Now it's time for some modifications. I don't have the pantograph that should go on the roof, so I'll remove this area completely. A rotary tool with a cutoff wheel is great in this case, but the friction also melts a bit of the plastic as it cuts. But it's nothing that a hobby knife and a crap ton of sanding can't fix. The roof opening is now squared up, even, and smooth. I'd like to add a floor, or maybe you would call it a deck type area within, and I'll use this square tubing to create a consistent depth. More square tubing, smaller this time, will help define the area above the roofline. There are a few round openings that I won't be reusing. If I heat up this leftover piece of plastic, I can stretch it and make a tapered plug that will be cemented in place and then trimmed flush. I think this is a better solution than just modeling putty all by itself. I'll still use a touch of filler, then sand this whole area. The resulting patch should blend in pretty well. I'm not sure what purpose it would serve in real life, but I'll cap off the roof opening with round tubing. I still haven't said what this area is for, have I? Is it a stage? Is it an observation area? Will it be a hot tub or pool for an eccentric billionaire? I'm not going to say at this point, but I will show you eventually. Just not in this video. Not today. From the box of unbuilt, unfinished, and perhaps unloved model kits come these roof exhaust fans, which in a former life would have been idler wheels on a 1/35th scale Tiger tank. Another piece of sheet styrene is trimmed to fit, and it will serve as the platform within the rear of the locomotive. More parts from the Tiger tank were used to break up spaces and to help differentiate this from an ordinary Williams E-60. There's something that I've always wanted to try with this shell. It's large enough, and I think it'll work, because I've always liked Vista Dome passenger cars. I'm pretty sure I can create a similar area just above and behind the lower driving compartment. It won't have a glass roof, but it will have windows on the sides and the front. More of the roof needs to be removed before I can begin making the window frames from solid, not hollow this time, pieces of plastic strips. There was a lot of fiddling with angles and beveled edges to get the new pieces to match the slope of the side vents of the original E-60 shell. That piece of plastic that looks like a headboard behind the side frames will be trimmed later, once I have a clearer idea of what the roof will look like. It would have made my day so much easier if I had made the forward-facing window just flat and in one piece. But I wanted the windscreen above to at least match the basic shape of the cab's two windshields below. I also struggled with the roof. Should I trim the edges flush with the sides, or does a bit of an overhang make sense? Ultimately, the overhang won out, mainly because if I didn't like it down the road, I could always cut it down and sand it to match the sides and the front. That big thing on the roof might eventually have a light in it, and its shape is supposed to match the area above the windows of the driving compartment. It may or may not be permanent. I can't decide, but it's fine for now. I sprayed primer onto the areas that I modified, mainly to get an idea of what this might look like as one unified shell and not just a bunch of random parts glued together. In a future episode, I'll paint this and add graphics. The third installment will finally reveal and fill that rooftop opening at the rear. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this has been Bob's Workshop. Take care.